Hey Blad Dads, we're here at Blue Spring, so we are just west of DeLand. Just west of DeLand. And so we parked early this morning, but there was a line. We haven't experienced it before, but again, typically when we've gone to the Springs, it's during the weekdays, so there's really not a long line to get in. But this is a Sunday, and we were probably about, I'm gonna estimate, somewhere between 25 to 35 cars deep before we actually got in. It's $6 to get in, and there was plenty of parking when we got here. There's probably I don't know, I would say the parking lot was about a third full, which is not bad. We got literally just a hop, skip, and a jump, and next thing you know, we're right here in this boardwalk, and we're gonna walk all the way down here so you could see the rest of this section of Blue Spring. Let me turn you around. Okay, so here's the walkway right over here. And underneath the shade, there is plenty of picnic tables, as you can see. And on this side as well. There is wildlife, so as you see these trash cans here, they are bear-proof. Now from the rain last night, this is super slippery right here. Okay, and we just had a sun shower. So this is the swimming area section of it. And this is the section that we're going to talk about. The canoes and the homestead is way on the other side of the park itself. So we're gonna go to our area first, and then I'll do a 360, and then we'll go to those particular areas, and then we'll hit the actual spring / river itself. So this is the area we set up in. It's literally in the middle of a field, and they've got bathrooms, restrooms over there, changing area, as well as a shower. Okay, there we go. And then they also have a pavilion set up here with about 8 picnic tables. There is a rental where they rent tubes, clear tubes, and there are the employees over there. We'll walk over to that section in a little bit, but that's where there's the gift shop, as well as a place where you can get some food. There's a nice walkway from here. Down this area, there's going to be a trail, and I'll show you that in a second. And this is one of 2 sections. You can kind of see the indentation right here of one of the areas you can enter into the gangplank that goes into the river. And here's the second one. And then right down here, and I have to move around these trees because you can't see it. But as I mentioned before, where the kayaks, canoes, and the homestead is down that section right there. And apparently there's a boat cruise. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, cool. All right, so we're going to turn you around. And so we're going to walk this way. That's always a plus that I see here. Now there's an AED, just in case there's a medical emergency. Let me span back right here. So that's where folks get their tubes. And when they're done with the tubes, you can see there's an employee spraying them off after usage. So this is the Blue Spring Canteen. They've got a good variety of food here, and also some cold items. And then they've got the gift shop. And this is Blue Spring Trail. So we're gonna walk through Blue Spring Trail. I'll pause it at a section because it takes about 10 minutes to get to the actual area where you get in with your tubes. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that walk. Blue Springs State Park, winter home of the manatee. So this is a raised platform, and again, it gets a lot of this dirt and debris on it. It can be slippery, so that's why I'm wearing deck shoes. So of course they have their signage talking about the springs and how important they are to our habitat and the manatee's habitat. There is no lifeguard here, so you need to be really aware of that. So for your safety, you can't have floats larger than this. So daughter number one has followed me. So here's a float. She's going to measure it to see if it is wider than the manatee itself. It can't be because it's not flat against the manatee. There we go. Oh, it looks like it's got a frown. Anyway, it can't be wider than that. So if you ever see those ridiculous floats that looks like a ginormous unicorn, that's why we don't bring those in there. Because literally, if you have too many of those, you can't fit. Yeah. It's really not that big. So here's some verbiage, or signage I should say, not verbiage, on the life in the Blue Spring Run, as well as how the Blue Spring is a natural environment. And look, we learned this in school, the water cycle.
Hippie.
And then the West Indian manatee of Florida. Okay, let's continue to walk. I'll show you a little bit of this raised platform of a boardwalk. The vegetation is pretty thick, so that's why they want you to remain on the boardwalk, and we don't hurt the habitat. Scuba divers have to register in the park because there are caves here. So that's the boardwalk that's raised. We'll go a little bit of ways because right below us is water here, and we're really walking through swamps. There are mosquitoes. I haven't experienced any mosquitoes yet, but you do here. All right, let me go ahead and pause this, and then we'll show you where the swimmers and the tubers come off, as well as showing you the rest of the way to the actual Blue Spring Boil. All right, we're back. So we walked down the boardwalk, and this is where the tube and diver entry says no entry beyond this point, but beyond that point, that's where the spring boil is. So we're going to turn this way just because my daughter has her tube, and we'll show you the walkway. This is very slippery right here, as I have heard.
Not really. For me.
Yes, there are gators in here. We haven't experienced it because there's so many people. But again, known submerged hazards like logs. There's been a couple. Okay, warns you about no diving because you might get seriously injured. Excuse me. Thank you. So this is one, or the only entryway on this side. So it gives you some information about snorkeling and freediving at the Blue Spring. Early this morning, this place was packed. I mean, we were probably 10 deep that way until we finally got into the spring. But there's an entryway right here, as well as an entryway right over here. The water is warmer than I expected. It doesn't feel like 72 degrees. It feels warmer.
Really?
So right down in the middle, it looks like rock. Yep, that's rock right there. You can see some snorkelers in the background right there.
Okay.
People floating around. So I'm going to come down the steps without getting in. So where those people are coming from, that's where the boil is. As you can see, there's even people standing. So it's pretty shallow on each side of the banks here. There are fish, not a lot. There's striped bass. Like I said, there's about, but there are manatees. So in one of the videos, we'll show you that. And then so they travel down that way very, very, very slowly. There's not a lot of current in here, and it's a very, very short distance. Literally around the bend is the gangplank with some other people, so I got to get out of the way. Anyway, sorry, excuse me. So I'm going to pause it again, and we'll show you where the boil is at the end of the boardwalk. All right, we're back, and this is the start of the Blue Spring boil. Here's some shade as well as some information about Blue Spring. They talk about the manatees. Again, sorry for the glare. So this is the Blue Spring Cave. So this is the surface, and wow, that is deep. And it even goes down further. So let me go ahead and show you that. Oh, this is a much better view than I didn't anticipate. So I'll move a little bit, but as you can see that where that yellow tube is, that's the entrance to the cave. Ooh, someone just came up. That's the entrance to the cave, and you can see some kids over there. They're by some. No doubt those were cut down, and it formed a little island. And so it's pretty. It looks shallow from here, but it really isn't. Along the bank, it is. You can see some people over here that are lounging and just recreating. But again, we just saw probably about 10 scuba divers this morning. And no doubt they had the ability to go down into that area right over there, into that cave. So it's the deepest of the 6 springs that we've talked about. So let me bring you over there. Here's more of that boardwalk. And then I'll turn you towards the actual spring itself so you can see. There might be a better area where there's a observation deck. And there is. So this is the end of the boardwalk. And this is a great observation area here. We've got an old cut down cypress tree right here. Oh yes, look at that. So you could see that there's a tree down there. So we will be able to hopefully come down from that area. We'll swim upstream to the entrance of this spring. So you can see you've got a couple of, oh, there's a free diver right there. And he's going down. And down, you can definitely see, and then they're coming up. Oh, there's a couple free divers. Check that out. And some scuba divers. Okay. So there's an area right over there where it is shallow. And there's some kids right down here on one of the river tubes, and there's a place where you could stand. So you can see these folks are doing right here. And right down there, since this is the beginning of the boil, all that water from the aquifer comes from underground and then travels, and these particular spring runs come together and converge to possibly a creek or a bigger river, which eventually goes to the Gulf of Mexico. Depending on what side you're on, it may go to the Gulf of Mexico, or it may go to St. Johns River, which eventually empties out into the Atlantic. All right, so let me show you some other things right here. So I got some literature. So here's the literature right here. Here's the first one. This is the Blue Spring State Park. They have river tours, tubing, rentals, oh, even Segway tours. Huh. And then on the back, Pontoon Island. Again, you can see it's in DeLand. And there is a map which shows you Daytona and Orlando and where Blue Spring and Pontoon Island are located. Again, one of the most important species that are around here is the famous manatee. And of course, Save the Manatee Club. And these gentle giants swim in these waters, which you will see a video of us filming a manatee. Okay, there we go. There is the Blue Spring Boil. All right, everybody. I had to take a picture there. Okay, if you like what you see here at Blue Spring, go ahead and like. Don't forget to comment as well as show your subscription. And don't forget to hit the bell, ding, and share. Because it's important that you all who are subscribers or those of you who view have the opportunity to share this with other people so they can enjoy springs like this. Again, this is our 6th spring. So that makes us, what, 994 to go. So that's what our goal is, to hit 1,000 springs and be able to blab that about it. So what do you think?
Good.
Okay. Great answer. Anyway, all right, everybody. So we're going to show the next video. Bye.